everyone.
Thank you, Julia. Welcome to Recovery Dharma, everybody. My name is Josh. I'm one of the facilitators here at Soul Center. I'm coming to you remotely from Petaluma, California. Here at Soul Center, Julia brings forth monthly topics for us to explore. And this year, she started putting the whole year, laying it out in a calendar so we know what's coming, which is great for me as a facilitator because it's been a source of anxiety for me every time we get towards the end of a month, wondering what I'm going to have to come up with the next month. And this year, we are starting with the basics. In January, we explored the first noble truth of Buddhism, which is that discomfort exists. And now we are in the second month, so we're exploring the second noble truth of Buddhism, which is that there are conditions which create discomfort. And that is very, very simple concept, but then the more one explores it, the more in-depth and complex it can get. I have been enjoying exceptionally beautiful weather here in my area of the world most of this winter. And just this last week, it became more appropriately weathered. So the skies turned gray and it's gotten rainy and cold. Um, my job requires me to do what I do, rain or shine. So when it's raining, I'm put on my rain gear and go stand out and get soaking wet, uh, which is a story I tell myself. I don't really get soaking wet. I put on my rain gear and go stand in the rain, and I get wet on my face and my hands. But even though I feel like a wet rat, I'm I'm dry. I'm not that cold. Uh, I live I work in San Francisco, so those of you in the northern latitudes probably laugh at what I say is cold. Dips down to the 50s here, but it's it is a source of discomfort, and it's striking how a shift in attitude can turn standing out in the rain for 4 or 5 hours into a miserable experience or a fun one. Um, with the exact same weather, the exact same temperature, all the conditions being the same. So it got me thinking about weather and as a condition, um, how out of control it is. The other day, my wife and I took an impromptu drive out in the rain, headed up into the redwoods just to get out of the house and see the green nature from the safety of our car. And we were coming around this one corner, driving near this small little like river gully, and I see something out of the corner of my eye, and it gave me a real start. It was this tree, some sort of deciduous tree in this evergreen forest we were in, that for whatever reason, it was catching the wind different than all the other trees around it. And it was really shaking. And I thought for a second that it was falling, um, which it didn't. And my moment of being startled was very, very brief, but it got my wheels spinning thinking about, you hear about people having trees fall on them as they're driving down the road in the rain. And it got me thinking, like, what a astronomical like set of odds there are against that actually happening to anybody. Like the sequence of events that are required for a person to be driving in their car in that moment when that tree somehow catches the wind just right, and it's just enough to either break a limb or uproot it and have it fall in their car, and hopefully there's no physical damage to the person, just the car. But like these things do happen. Um, and thinking about that as in the concept of karma or conditions, like you driving down the road is not doing anything wrong. Uh, that poor tree as a living being probably did not do anything wrong to deserve to get blown down or have a limb break. Um, and but it wasn't magic. It didn't just happen. It happened. It occurred after a series of events led up to that condition. Um, and so, kind of playing with that theme, I put together a little meditation, and I would love to invite all of you to join me if you would like. Invite my bowl to sing. And ask everybody to just begin by finding a comfortable position. Allow your body to settle, whether you're seated upright or lying down. If a position of stillness is not available to you, that's okay too. But if it is, let your hands rest gently. If it feels safe to do so, close your eyes or soften your gaze and just start to breathe. Take a slow, steady breath in through your nose and a long, unhurried breath out through your mouth. Just breathe in and out and let your breathing settle into a natural rhythm. There's no need to control it. Just notice it as you bring your attention to this moment. Imagine you're standing outside looking at the sky. Sometimes the sky is clear and blue. Sometimes heavy clouds gather. Sometimes rain pours down. Sometimes wind howls. Sometimes snow falls silently. The weather changes whether we approve of it or not. It shifts whether we are ready or not. It responds to countless causes: temperature, pressure, moisture, wind currents, most of which we never see. In the same way, the conditions of our lives are shaped by countless causes: other people's words, past choices, our physical health, finances, loss, aging. Many of these conditions are beyond our immediate control. Notice what happens when you inside your body when you reflect on that. Is there resistance to that idea? Do you feel relief or fear? Whatever the experience, just observe. No need to change it. And breathe. Now, as you're looking at the sky, picture a storm rolling in. The wind picks up, rain begins to fall, thunder echoes across the sky. If you're caught outside without shelter, discomfort arises. You may feel cold and wet, unsettled, afraid. In life, when difficult conditions gather, discomfort also arises. The second noble truth of Buddhism teaches that discomfort arises dependent on conditions. When we cling to warmth, a cold wind feels harsher. When we demand certainty, Unpredictability feels unbearable. When we insist that things must be pleasant, unpleasantness feels like a personal attack. The storm itself is not personal, but our relationship to it can intensify this discomfort. Take a moment to reflect. What storms have you experienced recently? Not from rain or snow, but inside. Without analyzing them, simply name them gently in your mind. Storms of loss, confusion, cravings, or fear. Notice how these storms were supported by many conditions. No single cause, no single fault, just a web of influences. As you breathe, imagine yourself stepping under shelter from these storms. Outside, the rain continues and the wind continues, but you're protected. The storm has not stopped, but your suffering has softened. This is the beginning of wisdom, recognizing that while we cannot command the weather, we can choose how we meet it. Now, consider this. Sometimes suffering is not only the storm itself, but our refusal to accept that the storm even exists. Imagine shouting at the sky to stop raining, or trying to hold the clouds still with your hands. Imagine resenting the winter for not being summer. This reaction, this pushing, and this pulling is like craving. Cravings tell us this must not be happening, or this must continue forever, or maybe just I need this to be different. It's the cravings that try to control what cannot be controlled. And when cravings come up against reality, discomfort arises. As you breathe in and breathe out, notice where in your body you feel the tendency to resist unpleasant weather in your life. Do you feel tight in your chest or clenching in your jaw? Simply observe those feelings without judgment. Now, let's turn to something just as equally important as the storms, because the weather does not only bring storms. There are mornings when sunlight pours gently across the earth, cool breezes that refresh the skin on a hot summer day. Just as there are crisp autumn days, there are warm spring afternoons. And just as unpleasant conditions arise, so do pleasant ones. A kind word from a friend, an unexpected opportunity, a moment of laughter, or a sense of peace. These too arise because of conditions, many of which are beyond our control. Reflect on something good in your life, something nourishing, and notice how it came about. Was it entirely your doing? Or were there countless supportive causes? Other people's efforts, good timing, luck, biology, or culture? Pleasant experiences are also like the weather. And just as we cannot force rain to stop, we cannot command sunshine to remain forever. Sometimes suffering arises not because something unpleasant is there, but because something pleasant is changing. The sun begins to set, the summer comes to an end, or a joyful moment passes. When we cling tightly to the sunshine, the fading of the light feels like loss. But sunshine was never meant to stay. Every day comes with a night. And as you take a breath, allow the pleasant memories in your life to be appreciated without grasping. Let gratitude replace possession. And breathing in and breathing out. Consider this. We cannot control the weather, but we can carry an umbrella. We can wear warm clothing. We can seek shade when the sun is too strong. Wisdom lies in not trying to control the conditions, but in responding skillfully to them. When anger arises, we can pause before speaking. When cravings arise, we can observe them without obeying. And when joy arises, we can savor it without clinging. And this is wisdom. Take a moment to imagine sitting peacefully indoors during a heavy rain, listening to the drops of rain fall on the roof, watching the lightning flash in the distance. But inside, there is warmth. The warmth is mindfulness. The warmth is understanding. The warmth is the knowledge that the conditions rise and pass. Now, imagine stepping outside on a bright, beautiful sunny day, feeling the warmth on your face, enjoying it fully. But you also understand that this too will change. And because you understand that, you can relax. There's less fear of loss, less desperation to hold on to, more presence in this moment. Discomfort arises when certain conditions are present, and pleasure arises when other conditions are present. Neither of these defines you, and neither lasts forever. The sky doesn't resist its own weather. See if you can allow your internal weather to be just like that. There's sadness, let there be sadness. There's joy, let there be joy. Just breathe with it. No storms ever lasted forever, and no sunny day has ever remained unchanged. This understanding is not cold or detached, but wise and freeing. It allows compassion for yourself and for others, knowing that every one of us is living under shifting skies. Every one of us is navigating conditions beyond our control. Namaste. Thank you, Julia. And thanks to all of you for joining me tonight. I'm with Susan. I am just so grateful to be part of this Sangha and always love seeing all your faces. So I'd like to offer a dedication of merit. May any understanding gained here deepen our wisdom about causes and conditions. May we learn to meet both storms and sunshine with balance. May we suffer less by resisting what we cannot control. And may the peace we cultivate within ourselves extend outward to all beings who live beneath the same changing sky. Namaste.